A police raid on a major tech company, that's always going to be big news. But when French prosecutors follow that up by summoning Elon Musk himself, well, then there's a much, much deeper story. Today, we're going to unpack the massive investigation that led to the seizure of X's Paris headquarters. So let's set the scene. It's February 3rd, 2026. French police swarmed the Paris offices of X. And look, this wasn't some quiet knock on the door. It was a full-on search. A really dramatic move in a conflict that, turns out, had been simmering for a long time. So the big question isn't just what happened, it's how. How does one of the biggest tech platforms on the planet end up having its offices raided by the police? To really get that, we have to rewind a clock, long before the cops ever showed up. Because this raid, as shocking as it might seem on the surface, was absolutely not a surprise. In fact, it was the final predictable move in a very long and very deliberate investigation. Yeah, this was anything but a rush job. The raid we saw was actually the grand finale of a full year of work by the Paris prosecutors' specialized cybercrime division. I mean, these are the experts, and they spent 12 solid months building their case before they made a single public move. But wait, it gets bigger. The raid was just one piece of the puzzle. French prosecutors decided to raise the stakes in a huge way by issuing a personal summons for Elon Musk. By going after the owner himself, not just the company, they sent a crystal clear message. This is personal, and we're taking it all the way to the top. So what is this year-long investigation even about? What's at the heart of it all? Well, let's break down the 7 really serious accusations that X is up against. The entire case that the prosecutors have built rests on 7 distinct and, frankly, very serious accusations. Each and every one of them is a massive legal hurdle for the company. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This isn't just some rumor. The Paris chief prosecutor herself, Laure Becchiau, confirmed it in an official statement, spelling out the exact legal basis for this entire thing. And these accusations, wow, they are incredibly grave. We're talking about a disturbing list of alleged offenses. They include things like complicity in distributing child sexual abuse material, the distribution of sexual deepfakes, those AI-generated explicit images, spreading Holocaust denial, and even fraudulent data extraction. Seriously, any one of these would be a gigantic legal fight. So 7 major accusations, a year-long investigation. This is a huge operation. But how does something on this scale even get off the ground? Well, as it turns out, it can all start with just one person. And this is the guy right here, Éric Bothorel. He's a centrist lawmaker in France, and he's the one who unknowingly kicked off this entire complex chain of events. Okay, so here's how it all went down. The whole path to the raid began with a single concern. First, Bothorel started raising red flags about X's algorithm, the code that decides what you see on the platform. But he didn't just tweet about it. He took a much more serious step and wrote directly to the prosecutors. That letter is what officially kicked off the investigation. And from there, it just snowballed. New allegations started popping up about X's AI chatbot, Grok, and the whole thing just ballooned from there. So we have the details of this specific case in France. But to really get why this matters to pretty much everyone, we need to zoom out. Because this isn't just about X in Paris. This is a major flashpoint in a much bigger global standoff. This whole case really puts a spotlight on this fundamental clash of ideas. On one side, you have these giant US tech companies that are constantly championing free expression and moving fast. But on the other side, you have European regulators who are pushing for way stronger rules to protect users and hold these platforms accountable. It's a collision of 2 totally different philosophies. And that's the absolute key takeaway here. This raid on X is so much more than just an investigation. It's an aggressive move in a much larger struggle over who gets to write the rulebook for our digital lives. Is it the companies that build the platforms? Or is it the governments that are supposed to represent us? And that leaves us with the ultimate question that this whole case forces us to confront. As these digital platforms get more and more powerful, who actually gets to set the boundaries? Is it the innovators creating the tech? Or is it the regulators trying to protect society? The answer to that question is going to define the future of the internet for all of us.